outside, the five of you are villains, predators, remorseless sociopaths.
Oh, stop. You're making me blush.
Lily and Zazie, how are you both doing today?
Great, how are you?
Good, yeah. How are you?
I'm really good. Such a pleasure to talk to you both. Really, really, really enjoyed this movie. Probably because as much as I know younger audience members will really enjoy it, there's so many jokes in there that will fly over their head, and I felt they were there just for me to laugh at. And so I had a great time. But maybe not to go too far into the plot on this, not to give anything away whatsoever, but what is it do you think that is so much more fun and appealing for actors and performers when it comes to playing the bad guys?
Well, I think for this movie in particular, there was a lot of room to play because it's so different visually. I mean, it is, I would say, the first action heist animated movie where you watch it and it's like a high thriller, like edge of your seat movie, but they're animated characters. And so I think there's a lot of room for people to play and do things differently, and be a little over the top and be very close to genre. So that was really fun for me.
And I think it's also always really nice to like acknowledge sort of the naughty and mischievous side of oneself, and all people have that, all children have that. And I think it's also good to indulge it in the way like Cookie Monster eats cookies.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and he should. Like, that's what he should be doing. And I feel like The Bad Guys is a sort of a fun exploration of like, yeah, it's fun to be cheeky and it's fun to be pushing a button, but as long as you're not hurting people. So, yeah. So it was fun to, I think, play that a little bit.
When you watched the movie back, what was your first impression of your character on screen? Did you notice maybe that the animators had borrowed any visual elements of yourselves, or maybe some visual tics or anything like that for the character that you ended up playing?
I was actually so surprised for Diane, how many little, I don't know if they came from me directly, although I'm sure they did with you too. They filmed all of my sessions because I know they do use little sort of behavioral things that you do. But I was surprised at how many little like tics and sort of things and details she had that I would never think to include, but I thought made the character so endearing. And yeah, I think that's just like a testament to the immense amount of attention and detail and scrutiny that goes into making these films. And I loved seeing that in Diane.
I think she has your swag for sure.
You think
I
so?
really do. When I watched it, I was like, ooh, yeah, she got that swag. For me, yeah, so they also recorded my sessions, and I'm like pretty over the top as a person. My facial expressions are pretty extreme. I see that in Tiffany. I see the way she moves close to camera and away from camera, the way she like captivates the audience. She's very extreme with her eyes and her mouth and all. That is me. So I think it is me, yes. She's crazy just like me.
Well, I think like how did you react, I guess, when your agent or whomever approached you with this particular movie? Because obviously people love animated movies, and there's so many different ways and characters to play. But like, say Zazie, for example, you're like, so you're a fox with a murky past, but you're also in charge of the city where an asteroid has just hit. Like, it's such a huge swing. And also like you're a reporter and you're looking into these bad guys who are performing all these heists. It's every character is so three-dimensional, even though we only spent a little bit of time with each of them. There's so much going on. So like when they approach these characters with you, you're like, okay, there's a lot to process here.
Yeah, I think definitely. That's the beauty of animation for me, though. I feel like sky's the limit and beyond. It's like anything is possible. Oh, these bad guys are a bunch of animals, and now there's an asteroid. Exactly with what you're saying. I feel like that's what the joy of making movies like this is. And so I kind of approach it with I'm in, let's do it, throw it at me, and we're gonna figure it out type of mentality. Whereas if it wasn't animation, I'd probably have slightly more questions.
Me too.
You know,
I guess
about the shark robbing a bank. The snake, I get, I've seen that before, but the shark would throw me off for sure.
I think I was very enticed at just the idea of like being a fox, and then they sent me her little concept animation, and I was like, "Ooh, she's cute!" And yeah, I don't know. I think it's just meeting the team. Also, they're just so lovely, like really friendly, really open and playful, and I liked also that it was based off of books.
Right, exactly.
I always think that's really nice, and sort of expanding on that. So yeah, it was the overall package, and of course the wonderful talent already attached to the film. So,
And just one final question, if that's okay, Zazie. Last year, I spoke to Kelly, who was the producer of Bullet Train.
yeah.
And that's how long I've been excited about seeing Bullet Train. And then I finally seen the trailer a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh my God, I need this in my life immediately. Can you confirm it is, in fact, the most fun film for adults to go see?
I haven't seen it yet, but based off of the script, it's a good time. And based off of the scenes I shot, it's a good time. But I haven't seen. Actually don't even know when it premieres. Soon, I think. Right?
As someone who knows nothing about this, I will confirm that if she's in it, it's a lot of fun.
Brad Pitt's in it. It's a lot of fun.
You're in it. So it's a lot of fun.
This is the kind of hype person I need in my life. I need someone beside me at all times going, 100%. You are the reason why this is
baby.
good.
I'm here. I'm here to support.
Zazie and Lily, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Have a good day.
No! Wolf!
If only we were given a chance to be anything more than criminals. If you want to stay out of jail, you need to go good.
Pierre, how are you doing today?
Hi, Rory. How are you, man?
I'm really good. Such a pleasure to talk to you today. Congratulations on the movie. I really, really wholeheartedly enjoyed it.
Thank you.
And I think the primary reason why I did is because I knew immediately that there are younger members of my family that I want to bring along, and know at the same time there's so many jokes that they're not going to get because they were for me and people of my age bracket. But how difficult is it to balance that? You know, because it is a particular kind of humor where you want to keep the kids entertained, but
Yes.
not completely,
Lost.
dull the audience, the adult audience who are there with the kids.
I think from the beginning, it was really about not talking down to the audience and really just, trusting the kids to understand, most of the jokes. Of course, we also play a lot for ourselves. We do all these references and winks at those heist movies and that genre. But I think the real trick was getting that tone right for, kind of a older type of audience, while at the same time finding a style, an animation style and a look that would be very appealing as well for the younger kids. So in a way, the physical comedy just really plays great for the children, and then dialogue is a bit more witty, a bit more adult. And I think that's kind of in a way the right balance there for this movie.
Absolutely. Like there were some fantastic one-liners and back and forth, especially between Sam Rockwell and Mark Maron. Their characters just felt like they were almost walking out of a Tarantino movie, just having conversations about pop culture and stuff. And I was fully on board for it.
You know what? When we previewed the movie, interestingly, the kids were actually getting the film better than the adults. Like they really were on terms of plot, understanding every joke and really understanding the whole, convoluted, kind of the twists and the turns of the plot. And they were on it. They were totally on it.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me because they're so savvy and so film knowledged these days.
Yes.
With a cast this impressive, and so many of them are uniquely funny in their own way from their own CVs anyway. Yes. But you've also got a script and a story that's kind of very precise. It's very like everything needs to be in its right place. But when you've got people who are this funny, so naturally funny, would you say is the biggest person most likely to go off script or to ad lib? Who's the person who can't help but kind of add their own flavor or on unique one-liners to the script?
I think Sam would be that person. Sam Rockwell would often want to kind of try his own little way, just really add that wolf flavor to the lines, But with most of the actors, our talents, we usually try to record them and ask them to ad lib a little bit, just see what they could bring to the table. And of course, as you said, they are just absolutely amazing. And so they always often, brought some of that naturalism, some of that, witty fun flavor. And in their own, respective ways. And we also tried to record them together so they could really play off of each other and just bring that flow, and that improvisation flavor to the dialogue.
Well, I have to congratulate you as well, because Sam Rockwell is so famous for dancing in pretty much every one of his movies.
Yes.
And I was sitting back and I was wondering, are they going to get Sam Rockwell's character to dance in this movie? And you absolutely did. So I was like, box checked. Of course, you have to have Sam dancing in this movie.
Totally. And that's funny because it kind of came a little late we didn't have that dance sequence right away in the script. It was not there at the very beginning. And then Sam came in, joined the cast, and then Anthony joined the cast, and we're like, we cannot not do, the character of Sam dancing and the character of Anthony singing, and so it kind of came this way. But it was just right, it was the right thing to do. It was, of course, and we use Sam's reference also when he dances. We use that in the film. Totally feels like him,
It really does. And what I love as well is that it sets itself up so well for a sequel or for more movies within this universe, because once you get to know them all and the potential of the world around them, I was like, I am fully on board for spending more time within this world with these characters. But ahead of this chat, I looked at your own CV, and there's so many things on there that I was like, oh my God, like Kung Fu Panda 2 is one of my favorite movies of all time, not regardless if animated or not. But I genuinely think Monsters vs. Aliens is one of the most underappreciated ones of the last couple of years. And like that one as well, I was like, why has that not got a sequel? I know the reasons why, but like, oh gosh, I loved, there's so many movies on your CV that I just was like, they're all fantastic.
Thank you very much. Yeah, like you, just like love spending time with those characters and bad guys, and that group is so fun, So fingers crossed we can see a bad guys too one day.
Fingers crossed.
Yes.
Pierre, thank you so much for your time today.
Of course. Thank you, Rory.
Thank you.
The good guy. We're more than just scary villains. They love us.
You're such a good boy.
Maybe I don't want to be a bad guy? No! We'll